Looking for an old Euro car that you can use somewhat practically but also fun, but you want to do it discreetly and hide it from your wife who might get pissed at you for getting an old beater car? Then you can try out one of these Volvo 850 T5 estates. Then I'm going to show you around this car and I'm also going to give it a test drive, so stay tuned. Looking at the Volvo 850 estate from the exterior, you know that Volvo didn't really try very hard to style this car. It's just a big brick on wheels, but that's part of the understated experience with this car. So up front, you still do get your Volvo sash right there. Although it is a lot smaller than newer Volvos, you still get your very 90s headlamp wipers on this one, because these are all still made out of glass instead of usual plastic nowadays. You got 2 lines on the hood, and well, that's pretty much it. Now towards the side of the car, there's not much shapes over here. What I like about it though is that you see this line on the fender, it kind of tapers off and just becomes the top part of the door, so you don't get a separate line for that. It gives a much more smooth and flowing look to it. The front doors also, they're very different in shape compared to the back, because the back doors, they are very much vertical. Just to disrupt some of the blandness of the side of this car, Volvo did give you some claddings towards the side. And for your rims, they do look rather sporty. So these are your standard 16-inch rims wrapped in 205/55/16s, but these were replaced because the original 205/50/16s were kind of hard to find back in the day. Then moving up top, so you get a little bit more practicality from this already very practical car, Volvo also added some roof rails for you. Towards the back, since it is an estate, you do get your own tailgate back here. At least you do get wipers, but styling wise, there's really not much back here. You get some black trims, even your bumper is covered in black trim. Down below, what you'll notice here is that you get oval tailpipes, but for the latter models of the 850, they actually changed it to like square tailpipes. That way it would mimic more of the general look of the car. One thing you'll notice here is that this light right here, this is actually taken straight out of a Volvo V70. So the only difference is that this part right here is white and it's not orange, but it's a straight fit for the 850. Pretty interesting. As you open this one up, what's cool about it is that unlike modern cars, you don't see your gas shock. So this is gas operated and all that, so it is assisted, but you don't see it over here, so it's all hidden in there. Then back here, it's a very big place. It's all carpeted too, and what's cool is that you just raise this one up and you get your own jump seats. Fold down this floor and there you go, space for like 2 kids. Not more than 2 kids. You also get your own seat belts at the back, because Volvo's priority is always safety. If you do fold this though, speaking of safety, you can even lock these things and put a lot of valuable items in there. To add more to the practicality, you can even fold down the rear seats, the second row seats. Just go on over to the second row, you fold down the cushion, and you lift up the headrest, and it just slides forward like that. Then you can finally just fold down this rear seat, giving you a very flat, like 100% flat loading bay back here. You can even put like your mountain bikes back here without removing your tires. To open up the hood of the Volvo 850, it's your typical thing, so you unlatch it on the inside, but just like old Mercedes, you can have a latch that comes out. However, for this one, this latch right here is permanently out and only gets it moves further out once you unlatch it from the inside. Hey, as you pull this one, under the hood you have this 2.3 liter inline 5 high pressure turbocharged engine making 225 horsepower and 300 newton meters of torque. Now this engine right here, it's just the piece de resistance of this car, because I mean, just look at how unassuming it is from the outside. But this one goes from 0 to 100 in like less than 8 seconds, with for 90 standards or even today, that's really not bad. Entering the Volvo 850 estate. Door sounds really good. Now let's start it up. If I start it up like that, it got a bit wobbly. The thing about the interior of the Volvo is that you also know that just like the exterior, they didn't really try that hard into making it a beautiful place. They just wanted to make it a very practical place. So for example, your dashboard, there's really not that much styling over here, so it's all boxy. They didn't even like taper off this edge right here. There's this giant cliff on the side. Your materials though, just like pretty much all old Volvos, they're leaning towards the brittle plastic side, but touch-wise, I'd say that they're not bad. Okay, the steering wheel in this car has been reupholstered to make it this perforated leather. Your instrument cluster is very basic, but what's really amazing about the instrument cluster is that instead of getting like percentages or F and an E for your fuel gauge. You have it in liters, so full is 70 liters and, well, none is like 10 or below 10. To the center, everything is just analog. So you do get like dual zone climate control for this one, but they are really analog. So you get so much knobs for this one. You even have this switch that says air mix. So what that does is that you can control just how much air you want to be blowing out from the center vents and move it towards the side vents. That's the first time I've seen it in any car. You got traction control buttons over here, your sunroof switch. By the way, the sunroof, it's not exactly the biggest, but it's really not bad for this car. You got a huge stereo system. This is probably bigger like your typical Tudin head unit of today. You have these like bass, treble, and fade controls, volume knob right here. So you press it, that's your, well, your regular volume, but if you pull it out and you move it, that's actually your balance. Your shifter, just a regular shifter. You got heated seats. Then you have your eco and your sport mode. If you leave it in this winter mode, in Mercedes cars, they usually start in the second gear, but for this Volvo, it has so much torque that it can actually start in third gear. Instead of having your door handle something you pull, there's actually this weird latch thing that you pull over here by the handle, and that's really how you open the door in this car. Cup holders down below, useless cup holders here on the center, power window switches to the center as well, and then you also have two switches, yes, two switches to adjust either side mirrors. That's really nice. Power memory seats for the driver's side, but for the passenger side, it's all manual, but it's very complicated. So you can like adjust the height of the seat through this lever towards the center, then more of that stuff. And also towards the side, there is a place put whatever stuff you want. In some models, they even came with a flashlight. Finally, the seats themselves, they are quite comfortable, and it's quite similar to modern Volvo seats. So they're very ergonomic. Even the headrest, it's incredibly comfortable back here. You get one air vent by the passenger side, two by the center, but when you get on over to the driver's side, you get two stacked upon each other. More of Volvo's quirks can be seen over here. So if I do step in back here, there is a front driver airbag, but I don't have my passenger airbag. However, they have great safety records, right? So they really reinforce the door. So if you do get hit from the side, it's very safe. Plus, they even gave you front side airbags. So where have you seen a car with side airbags, but only one single airbag for the driver and not for the passenger? Volvo. You're just second row, let's check the door thud. Surprisingly, it sounds better in the front compared to the back, because in most cars the back sound better. Anyway, okay, now back here, I know I'm all about the rave when it comes to like the back seats of an S-Class, but I must say the Volvo 850's back seats are one of the best that I've ever sat in, including in modern cars. The ergonomics back here, they are absolutely perfect. The thigh support is great. The way that it's angled slightly upwards, and even the recline in this one is just set absolutely perfectly. I don't know how Volvo does their ergonomic designs. For your toys, you don't really have that much back here. So you get an armrest, you get map pockets that's already kind of sagging, but that's about it. However, the most important thing about this 850 is that if you do want to see three people back here, the second row middle seat is probably more comfortable than a lot of normal side seats in most cars. I mean, this thing is just crazy. The legroom is good, transmission tunnel is not high. The way, the place where your ass will sit, it's also really wide, so it really feels like a regular seat, and even your headroom is really good. So this car is probably hands down the best in non-SUV cars, non-wide SUV cars for carrying three people at the second row. Driving the 1996 Volvo 850 T5. This thing is ridiculously comfortable. I'm coming from a W140 S-Class, so when I say a car is comfortable, it is very comfortable. Now, this 850 supposedly competes against the likes of something like the C-Class, the 3 Series, or the Audi A4. But honestly, size-wise, it feels much more similar to an E-Class. Anyway, now driving this thing, really it's all about comfort. Although this is a turbo model, it doesn't really give you that much confidence of taking this car fast over bends. But when you do want to hustle this car on the straight, there's not much turbo lag and there's a lot of turbo whistle. I don't know how fast I'm going because the speedometer is currently not working, but it really does hustle. So if I put my foot down, and surprisingly for a 90s car, the transmission is rather responsive. Throttle response is still rather slow, but at least despite your throttle response being slow, There's no turbo lag. Okay, a little bit of turbo lag. Now, pushing this over this slight bend right here, and you know that the 850 T5 does not enjoy bends. There is a significant amount of body roll, and the car is rather heavy. Plus, it's an estate, so you get extra weight with those glass at the back and the extra metal, of course. So, no, you don't want to be driving this thing a bit too spiritedly. But for your daily drives, your sudden urge to want to go a bit faster, the T5 850 can do the trick very well. As with most 90s cars too, this one has great visibility. This one, despite having side airbags and again, weirdly just one single driver front airbag and none for the passenger, you don't get curtain airbags with this one. And what that makes is that your A-pillar becomes really thin. You get to see so much out of it, and even out the back, we see pretty much everything in this car. Now, parking this probably could be a little bit hard because you still don't get all your parking sensors, and the car is rather long for how low it is. As a daily car, and as a nice little project Euro car, you can't really go wrong with these things compared to when you want to go for their German counterparts. Now let's talk about the NVH in the Volvo 850. I did not expect these older Volvos to have NVH as good as their German counterparts. And yes, that it's true. If you compare it to something like a C-Class, a 202, NVH isn't that great, noise-wise at least, compared to something like a BMW E36. And this one suddenly feels like a Rolls Royce. Now, if there's one problem with this car, vibrations-wise, the 850 isn't exactly known for having the best interior, so there's a lot of brittle plastics on the interior that they creak and they rattle so much when you're driving this. Despite this road being rather smooth, yes, you can hear so much of the rattle. So if you can sort that out, I'm sure that the NVH, this one, will be improved dramatically. Despite this one being a Volvo and being from a place where it's incredibly cold in Sweden, I'm pleased to tell you that the AC system in this car, also despite its age, it's also really cold. It's actually colder than my Merc. When you do hit those potholes in this car, it remains very much composed as with the rest of the driving experience. The only thing that really detracts from the driving experience in this car is, number one, the rattling inside interior, and number two, its non-ability, its lack of ability to handle corners. But aside from that, the Volvo 850 T5 is a great little project car or side car that you can use once in a while, or if you really do want to daily it, it's 100% comfortable to daily. So can I recommend this car if you're looking for an old project Euro? Yes, absolutely so, if you don't want to spend so much for the German counterparts, because if you want this much power in a German C-Class, you have to go up for like a C320 at the minimum, and that one costs easily like 3 to 4 times this car. So yes, do check out this car. It is for sale, and we're gonna have a short interview with the owner of this car right after this. So we're here with the owner of this particular 1996 Volvo 850 T5, Sir Kevin Punzalan. And so, Sir Kevin, just tell us about this car. It's just a very brief history and why you picked it.
I'm glad you asked, Kyle, because I've always been a fan of Volvos. When I was a kid, my favorite matchbox car to play with was a Volvo 740, so I liked boxy cars even then. When I got older, I had a friend who had an 850 T5 sedan, and when I first saw it, I thought, wow, what a boxy car. It must only be for, cruising around.
Yeah.
But when he floored that same turbo engine that's in this car, I was amazed. It was definitely a sleeper, had really comfortable seats, and I fell in love. Many years later, when I started working and earning my own money, I thought I wanted to buy a project car that wasn't too costly, that was unique and also fun to drive.
So automatic no to the Beamers and the Mercs and all that.
Well, that's the thing, right? Most of the ones sold here in the Philippines are manual or not, for example, the larger engine version. So I felt like if I wanted to have fun, I need to pour in a lot of money to do that. But when I started looking at Volvos, I started seeing that you could buy an 850 T5 from anywhere between 70,000 to as high as 200,000. I thought, okay, that's right at the sweet spot.
It's like a quarter of the price of the German counterparts, more or less.
Yes, but whoever does buy them is going to be a pretty lucky person, I think.
If anyone's interested in buying this particular Volvo 850 Estate, I will put Sir Kevin's contact details down below so you can go ahead and contact him. And hopefully you'll be the new owner of this beautiful Volvo 850 T5.